Look, let's be honest, the office is pretty messy, but it's Dogfight time. I don't have time to clean up this mess of paperwork behind me. How's it going, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and this is a little bit of a different one. If you're a T-Mobile customer, or hey, even if you're an AT&T customer and you want to unlock devices, this could be something that's interesting to you. It's ice cream sandwich and good build quality versus Jelly Bean, the HTC One S with its nice metal build and awesome specs versus the Samsung Galaxy Nexus. They're both awesome devices with good specs, a little bit different in terms of look and feel. It's a dogfight battle. Let's see which one comes out on top. But first, some love to Best Buy Mobile for hooking us up with phones like this for use in our One Paw Bandit giveaway game, which we turn around and give to you on the site. When you go into Best Buy Mobile, you'll walk out working. They'll help you set up your email, your web, your contacts, your settings, all that stuff. So when you walk out with either of these devices, or any device for that matter at Best Buy Mobile, you'll walk out working. Let's take a look. HTC One S, Samsung Galaxy Nexus. Is Jelly Bean worth it, or are the better specs worth it? We'll find out in the full dogfight, which starts right now. Two devices, one of which is unlocked, but both available theoretically on T-Mobile. Here's the HTC One S. It's available now from T-Mobile. It's one of HTC's flagship One devices that was announced in February at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. It's arguably actually I shouldn't say arguably, in my opinion, it's my favorite One device outside of the Evo 4G LTE. Love the design. Wish it had an HD display, but otherwise the design is perfect. It's a nice size. It's 4.3 inches. Love it or hate it. We all have our typical mobile preferences, but it's my favorite out of the One series, the original series that was announced in February. Then you have the Samsung Galaxy Nexus over here. Now this is the unlocked version. You can get it from Google Play for $349. And the benefit here, the specs may be a little bit outdated when it comes to mobile technology in August, or at least almost September now, but it's got decent specs, and better yet, it's got Android 4.1, also known as Jelly Bean. So the very latest version of Android pre-installed in this. You can get it from Google Play for $349. Unfortunately, you can't get it from T-Mobile, so you can't get a subsidized price on it. That said, you get Jelly Bean if you're willing to shell out $350. Spec-wise, over here you got a 1.5 gigahertz dual-core Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 CPU. You get a 4.3-inch QHD display, 540 by 960 pixels here. It is a Super AMOLED display. And then you got an 8-megapixel camera on the back with 1080p HD video recording. It's got HTC's Image Sense technology, so you can take burst mode pictures and more, which we'll talk about in part 2 of the dogfight. Then you have a 1,650 milliamp hour non-removable battery back here, a front-facing camera. You got Android 4.0, also known as Ice Cream Sandwich, with HTC Sense version 4. Beautiful metal design here, unibody at that, and then this comes off to reveal your micro SIM card slot, and then that's about it. I started to say micro SD card slot, but I was like, wait a second, I don't think this one has a micro SD. So many phones in so little time. Like, it's hard to remember those little details. I'm telling you, as a reviewer, it is the so one thing that's hard to remember. Then you have the Samsung Galaxy Nexus over here, 1.2 gigahertz dual-core TI OMAP processor. It's got a 4.65-inch Super AMOLED HD display, a 5-megapixel camera with 1080p HD video recording on the back, a front-facing shooter, a 1,750 milliamp hour battery in the GSM unlocked version, and then of course Android 4.1, a stock version also known as Jelly Bean. So Ice Cream Sandwich here, Jelly Bean here, better software, I shouldn't say better, but newer software over here, better specs all around over on the One S. Which one's going to win? It's dogfight time. Woof! That's not really how a dog would woof, that was really too optimistic. But anyway, 4.3-inch display, 4.65-inch display, a little bit larger over here. You'll also notice the different buttons. You've got on-screen buttons here on the Galaxy Nexus. You've got back, home, and then recent applications, which click here to access. Super easy, minus the voice crack, super easy. And then over here, back, home, and recent applications. Now, you're going to notice HTC's recent applications, a little bit of a different implementation as a result of Sense 4 being pre-installed, as opposed to a stock version of Ice Cream Sandwich or a stock version of Gingerbread. But let's walk through the specs here, and I'll walk through the different user interface changes. First of all, unlocked device over here means you're going to get no carrier installed applications. You do get Google Wallet, you get Play Magazines, which is a new thing with Jelly Bean, and is rolling out backwards, or backwards compatible, I should say, with the Google Play Store on other devices. So when you go into Play Store, for example, if it's been updated properly, you go in here and you'll see the option to download magazines as well. Once we get into Google Play, you can see it's there with apps, music, magazines, books, and movies, and TV. So over here, 5 home screens out of the gate. Very stock. Obviously, it is stock. So stock look and feel over here. And then you've got this over here. Very similar in terms of the dock. You've got the menu button in the middle, or applications button, rather. You've got shortcuts on both sides, and they're customizable. So let's say you want Gmail down there, for example. Maybe you want to bundle Gmail and the internet together. You can do that and have a separate folder. And we can bring the browser back out, for example, and keep Gmail down there. So you can customize these as you see fit. Same thing over on the HTC, although you'll notice little Sense 4 implementations, for example, the way the folder looks. Notice this is a little bit different than the way it looked over here on stock Jelly Bean, and that's the same thing kind of with stock Ice Cream Sandwich as well. A little bit of a difference as a result of Sense 4 being pre-installed. So obviously Ice Cream Sandwich over here, Android 4.1. Take a look at the difference in the notification bar. This is the Jelly Bean notification bar. The clock has been changed. Your settings shortcut has been moved up a little bit. There's no text, so out of the gate you have to know this is the settings shortcut button. Then you have the Clear All button, which instead of, I obviously don't have anything loaded up over here, but the Clear All button, you're kind of like, perhaps somebody coming into this could be like, what is that? I don't really know what it is. But when you click it, clears everything out and leaves you with the voicemail notification. For whatever reason, all my T-Mobile demo phones have voicemails. So I don't know if it's just because I'm popular. You know what? We're just going to roll with the fact that all the demo phones have voicemails. It's not because of me. It's not because I'm popular. But 4G capabilities over here. This supports HSPA plus 42 megabits per second. So T-Mobile's fastest HSPA plus, what they call 4G. This supports HSPA plus as well. Over on T-Mobile, though, it's a reduced speed, so keep that in mind, as evident by the H sign up there at the top. So we'll take a look at the settings here so you can see some differences over here. Very minor in terms of looks. You've got your wireless and network. You've got device stuff or personal over here. You've got phone, and then you've got accounts. Now take a look at accounts because this is really the biggest difference over in setting, just kind of comparing software to software. You'll notice accounts and sync is an option over here, but you have to physically click to see here on Baker, which is my test Google account, whereas over here, accounts, it automatically shows up with Google as here on Baker. It shows my maps and latitude, my search, my location, and then Google+. So little differences like that. Also want to point out the lock screens, how they look. You can see here differences. And then Jelly Bean gives you the option to go to the camera, Google Now, which we'll talk about, and then your unlock area by swiping over. And then over here, lift the ring up. Actually, lift the ring up and then don't let the screen go dark. Lift it up and you're good to go. 7 home screens over here on the T-Mobile HTC One S. And HTC does a tremendously good job with allowing you to personalize the device. But out of the gate, you do get some T-Mobile stuff pre-installed since it is a carrier-branded device. You get 411 and more out of the gate. Game base. You get mobile hotspot, more from me. You get the Google Plus integration, obviously, which is part of Ice Cream Sandwich. But you get a lot of T-Mobile stuff. T-Mobile Mall, T-Mobile My Account, T-Mobile Name ID, T-Mobile TV, visual voicemail. Where's My Water? So if you want to play that Disney game. What I do like is the search, Play Store, and menu buttons all staying static up here in the top right-hand corner, regardless of which screen you're actually on. Now, another thing you'll notice is when you go in the menu, you have the apps and widget shortcuts up top, so you can easily scroll between your widgets. This kind of goes back to the old style of Android, just because it doesn't have widgets up in the menu. You have to physically press and hold on the home screen to access your widgets. So very much kind of like an older version of Android, Gingerbread or Froyo, in terms of the way that you would add widgets as opposed to them being in the App Store like they are in stock versions of Android. Then you can scroll over, of course, and see apps and shortcuts like that. But you've got a ton of different widget choices here. You've got less on the Galaxy Nexus. There aren't very many stock Google widgets. You can see those here. And they're all customizable, which is something I've always talked about. It's nice to have the customization. I do not have an actual email account set up, so that is not going to work. But I can show you the Gmail one, for example, and how customizable it is. You can change the size if you want to, but it is a dynamic widget, so you can scroll back and forth through it here. Over here, a lot of different widgets to choose from, and then when you go into HTC, for example, you got a couple of different options within that to choose from. So let's just say, you know, calendar, and it shows me which screens won't allow it because it's too big and which screens will allow it. Put it right there. We'll say, yeah, all those calendars, because I want to show you, again, lots of customization. Even with the HTC widgets, I can customize it around, change it how I want it to look, and really make this device my own. And that's something I really like. HTC's always done a great job with personalization. They've done a great job with widgets, and it continues with this, with the agenda over here. So, fantastic look and feel right there. Now over here in the Galaxy Nexus, you do get customizable widgets, but it's a little bit less customizable in terms of, 1, home screens, and then 2, what you can do with actual themes and more. So we'll go into settings, for example, go into personalize, go to skin, and you can see a couple of different skin choices here. You can see HTC, which is what's set right now. You've got aluminum, you've got serene, matte, and that's it, but you can get more through HTC Hub. So we'll go to aluminum, for example, apply it. Gives you a nice different look and feel, and of course you have your wallpapers as well. But really like this ability to change this around. It's nice. And we'll wait for it to load here. So you can see the difference. Obviously background wallpaper changes as a result, but I really dig the theme changes and the things that you can do without installing a custom ROM, without installing a third-party anything, as a third-party wallpaper application, a third-party dock changer, anything like that. You don't have to install ADW launcher or anything like that, which is really nice. Quick look at messaging though, because we're going to load that up and see the differences. Stock appearance here, your new button, your search button, and your menu button, all at the bottom here next to the on-screen buttons. And over here, search, compose, and menu all at the top. And HTC's done a pretty good job of keeping them at the top, depending on, regardless rather, of what application you're in. So we'll compose so you can see the differences. HTC keyboard, been much improved over here. And this is the stock Jelly Bean keyboard. Now, 4.3 to 4.65 inch display. Here's what they look like side by side in landscape mode. Not a huge difference, but I will say if you're doing something like, maybe you're new to a smartphone, or an all-touch smartphone, I should say. You're used to a physical QWERTY keyboard. Maybe you're coming from a BlackBerry, or you listen to music on a regular basis, you look at music videos, you watch YouTube. The bigger display here might be a pull for you. That said, I don't really see a huge difference between these two. Honestly, 4.3 and 4.65, pretty similar in terms of the look and feel and overall day-to-day performance. But I'll say, Quick Brown Fox, happy to be awake. Quick and easy to type on. Portrait to landscape transitions are nice and fast. And then over here, again, home, or I mean portrait rather, landscape, and then back to portrait. And I absolutely love this keyboard. It is easy to type on. And that is terrible because I'm misspelling stuff. But fantastic. Autocorrect is quite good on this as well. And you got your menu and your attachment button up there on the top, whereas here you got your attachment button right under your send button. And that's how the HTC One S works.